If Spiro Agnew had never resigned, well, then perhaps the authorities would have pressed charges against him and he could have gotten into real trouble, and maybe Spiro Agnew might have ended up as the first vice president to go to prison. Or maybe Richard Nixon would have forced Spiro Agnew out somehow. Agnew did claim that Nixon implicitly sent him a warning through General Haig, so yes, maybe Nixon wouldn't allow Agnew to stay around. Now, it's also possible that Agnew manages to stay around long enough for Nixon to go, so maybe Nixon resigns and Agnew is still around, so Spiro Agnew becomes the new president. And from here, he would try to use the 25th Amendment to appoint a new vice president, although perhaps, it's unclear how. I wonder if the House and Senate would allow that, because Agnew, I doubt, would have as much control as Nixon. So, and I highly doubt that Agnew would necessarily pardon Nixon. It's unclear if a potential President Agnew would have pardoned Nixon, because Agnew and Nixon really did hate each other. So I wonder if Agnew would have actually pardoned Nixon. But even if he didn't, and let's say Agnew ran in 1976, he would probably still have lost Jimmy Carter because Spiro Agnew has too much baggage. So if Spiro Agnew did not resign from the vice presidency, he might have just been he might have just gotten into real big trouble and ended up going to prison anyway. He might have ended up going to prison in this universe, or he might have stuck around long enough to become president, and then if he ran in the next election, he would have just lost. So very interesting to consider what might have happened. And I'm sure that Spiro Agnew would have also aided and abetted the Indonesian genocide of East Timor, so on the policy is probably not very different.